Well, hey y'all, it's Ashley here from Lovely Commotion. Thanks for joining me again this Sunday. Today I want to talk all about a math skill in preschool that sometimes gets overlooked. Have you heard of subitizing? I know when I first learned about subitizing many years ago, I was reading it, and so I wasn't really sure even how to say it. Was it subitizing? What the world is suba what? And so today I want to share with you what subitizing is and how we can help our preschoolers practice subitizing. So let's go ahead and get started. Subitizing sounds like this really big skill for preschoolers, but simply put, it is just the ability to identify the number of items in a small set without having to count them. So we do this all the time as adults, but we do more of the conceptual subitizing. There's two different types. And what we're looking for our young children to do is the perceptual. So we are wanting them to know how many are in a set without counting them, usually up to about 4 or 5. Conceptual counting is what our older kids do and what adults do. It is when you see parts of a set and you can put them together in your brain without counting them. So if you're seeing 3 and 3, you know that that is 6. That is your brain subitizing. And subitizing is super important. Research has led to the conclusion that relationships between that subitizing and math achievement is super strong. We want our children to be able to quickly some things in their head, to quickly count them without having to touch count everything. And so that is what subitizing is. And it helps break into that early addition, subtraction phase of learning as well. So subitizing is definitely one of the skills that I look at through the year. I want to see if children have the ability to subitize, maybe if they have growth in the ability to subitize. It can kind of give me another data point in observing our goal of beginning that mathematical fluency, right? And so young children, like I said, start with that perceptual, and we want them to be able to practice it, right? Because sometimes they've never even realized they've got this superpower of subitizing. They don't realize that my brain can do that. How did my brain know that that was 3 without counting them? And so I like to show them that their brain has that power, and then they can start using that power to start moving towards the conceptual type of subitizing. So how can we as preschool teachers help them unleash the subitizing superpower and practice this skill? I like to use subitizing cards. This does not have to be a big deal. It does not have to be a whole lesson. It doesn't have to be a whole bunch of hoopla. It's super easy, super fun ways to just practice it. See where they are. Get a little glimpse inside that little brain and where they are with some of that math fluency. So I have 4 sets of subitizing cards that I'm sharing with you today and that you'll be able to grab up above. And I printed them all in different colors. So this one is sticks. As you can see, I've got them broken up. There's 1, there's 4, and then there's also the dice. So if your children have played a lot of games, this is familiar to them, right? This layout of 4 dots means 4. And while their brain has already taught them that, sometimes it's also memorization, right? And so we like to move around those dots to see, can they subitize when the dots aren't looking like what they always look like on the dice? So are we able to figure, let me find 4 for you. Of course, it has to be at the very back. Can they still see this as 4, even though it doesn't look like this? And so that's what we're kind of starting to see where they are along that number sense journey, right? Can we understand that this quantity is the same as this quantity, even if they aren't put in the same patterns in the same areas on the card? And also, if they are a completely different shape, don't they mean the same thing? And so that's why I have these dot cards, variation dot cards, and then also some finger dot cards upside down. Because when a lot of children count, what do? 1, 2, 3, right? They know when someone asks them, how old are you? I'm 4. It's this many fingers. We already know that, right? And we already know that this whole one is 5. So we're already starting to understand that when I add one more, it's 5. And I already know this is 4 because I've learned that. My brain has learned that. And so it's kind of taking what they already know from the dot die, maybe from the finger counting, and moving it to something that isn't as familiar. 4 can also look like this, right? There's lots of great skills going into this. But I want to share with you 5 activities that you can do so super easy in both whole group or small group or however you want to do it. And just use these because they won't even know that they're practicing. I did not create these cards to be flashcards to hold up and go, which one? How many? How many? How many? We do play a game with them called Flash, but we like to make it super fun. But in general, I want to use these cards in a way that is engaging, right? Is keeping their interest and is making it something that they want to do. The first game is memory. So basically all you're going to do is print 2 sets of the cards. If you're going to use the dot dice cards, then print 2 sets of them. And you can either play with a child or 2 children can play, and you can kind of be there to coach them along if they don't know how to play memory. Many kids already know this game, so that's helpful. You just lay down all 12 cards in random order on the table, and they take turns flipping over one. And then we can say, how many? 4. And you can see this is great observation time for you to go, can they just say 4? Or are they going, and then you kind of know we need to, let's see if they can subitize 3. So maybe the number 3 will come up and we can observe that. But then, so once they've got their one card, they pull over another. Do they match? Are they the same? Nope. So flip them back over. So it's like a memory with an extra subitizing twist. Another game you could easily play and that children could learn to play by themselves even is a matching game. So you can take 2 sets of cards. And so we could look, this is 2. This is also 2. They match, right? You could do this whole group and grab more than one set of cards and start sorting them, right? We can start seeing that 2 looks differently. And can we recognize that is 2 quickly without counting them? So that's another game. Easy matching. Easy matching. The third one is which one doesn't belong. And so this is fun too, because it's more like a puzzle, like a riddle. So what you want to do is you need all 4 sets of cards. And in 3 of the sets, you want to show them the same quantity. So if I did 3 lines, I would lay out 3 dot die, lay them together here. And then I might do 3 fingers. And then on the orange set, I'm not going to do 3. I'm going to do 6. And so we lay those out. Which one doesn't belong? Well, we're going to have to figure it out quickly, right? We don't want to sit there and go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so it encourages that subitizing because they want to be one of the first ones to know what it is. And so they're looking. And if they already know that this means 3 and this means 3 and this means 3, that does not look like 3. And so we can talk about how, look, there's more dots. So lots of amazing things can come out of this. We can talk about more or less. We can talk about, obviously, subitizing and our brain's superpower to see these numbers and also figuring out what's different. How are they different? How are they the same? Because even the ones that show the same quantity are different, right? And then another game you can play, super easy. If you got 5 minutes, you got, just a short amount of time. Maybe you are working on a transition. Maybe you're waiting in line for the bathroom, This is an easy one. So you just take 1 set of cards with you, pick a set. If you're just starting out, these might be the easiest for them because they have seen them if they've played games. And basically all you're going to do is hold it up and put it behind your back. And you want to see, can they, in a flash, so this is called flash, can they tell how many were on the card without counting? You're not giving them time to count. So it's making their brain do that work. And you can start seeing, can they? Interesting. What if I back down to 2? Can they? Maybe so. What if I move to a different set of cards? Then can they do 3? And so you really get a glimpse inside those brains that you don't always get by playing these types of games. And they're practicing. realizing that sets can look different and that our brain can have the superpower of subitizing. The last one is copy the card. This is something you could do at whole group. You do it small group. We have little chalkboards at our whole group, so this would be great for those. You could sit down with a small group and do this. You could even just use paper. It's not a big deal. But what you're going to do is show a card, and we're going to see if we can copy it. And so just as an example, like super simple, can I make it the same? And then we can talk about, did you notice something? How many were up here? Because they may not be able to subitize this yet, and that's okay. This is a hard card, right? They may not see that 3 and 2 is going to equal that 5. That's fine. But can they start seeing this as 2? Can you see this set as 2? And you can show them, circle it. That's a set of 2. We already know that. And then we can work on set of 3. Then we can work on counting on, right? Look, I have 3, so that's 3. And then I have 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, this is 5. It's starting that early addition. We're not expecting mastery in any of that, right? No, absolutely not. But we are already opening their eyes to some of the things that their brain might already be doing and practicing them and giving them these strategies to see, oh, okay, my brain can break these apart. And this is something we use as adults all the time. Every time I teach, I am using subitizing. I am looking at my line of kids, and if I have 8 that day, I see 4 of you up here. I know I need 4 more of you, right? I kind of can break them. If there's 5 of you here, oh no, I only have 4 over here. I'm missing one, right? I gotta go find them. So we do this all the time, and we want our kiddos to be able to do this quickly without having to count. And this is an early addition subtraction skill that is very important for them. They will use it, and it will make their lives a whole bunch easier when they go to learn about putting sets together and taking them apart. So grab these subitizing cards if you would like. There is a link above. They're free to you. I put them in different colors just to kind of help me know which set was which. So that's an idea for you. Also, if you use subitizing and you have a way that you practice it in the classroom that you want to share, I would love to hear it. So drop it in the comments. Might be something I can add to mine. And I always love hearing new ideas. And I know other teachers do too. So if you have an idea for subitizing, please drop it below. And if you want to, grab those cards. I will see you next week, everybody. Bye-bye.